Hello, I'm Nathan Judah. I'm here with Wolves reporter. It is Mr. Liam Keane. Liam, FA Cup, 4th round. West Bromwich Albion 0. Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. We've got a lot to talk about. Let's talk about the game first. Let's talk about the game. Look, end of the day, most important thing is Wolverhampton Wanderers are in the hat for the 5th round. Black Country Derby, not won here since when? 18 what?
Not won here since 96.
96.
Not a great history here.
Look, they got the job done. They came here, they did a professional job. They were not at their best by any means, but at the same time, especially second half, they were, I thought, deserved of the win overall.
Yeah, I think so. It was a Wolves side in that first half that I think you tweeted to say it's not quite recognisable of what they've been this season. Maybe a little bit nervy out the gate.
I should expect maybe a little bit.
Yeah, which I get. I think Albion were definitely on the front foot in the first 15-20 or so. Wolves settled, had a couple of half chances. They looked a little bit shaky in defence throughout that first half, up until the first goal. Overall, it wasn't a good first half performance, in my opinion. But what it was a professional, clinical performance. Now, Wolves' Premier League quality came to the fore, and it came from an Albion mistake from a corner that Wolves punished, and they punished brilliantly. I thought Matt Doherty brought the ball down excellently, moved forward with it brilliantly, with purpose, and played in Neto. Maybe got a tad lucky with the ball, with a tackle coming in. He sort of ball ricocheted back up to him rather than maybe losing it. And then the finish, obviously, to the far corner, and from that moment, Wolves were. I thought that they finished the half fairly comfortably, and then going into the second half were definitely the better side in what was still a fairly cagey affair, as you'd understand. Yeah. But I thought Wolves deserved it.
Yeah, and they go into that second half, and you think, okay, you're going to get bombarded a little bit first 10-15 minutes, but it didn't. It was quite quiet. They controlled the game. I think they kept the ball down on the pitch, didn't they? They didn't go aerial too many times today, and I thought that suited them, suited the players had in the side. There were a couple of really big performances there, and then, of course, what you need is you need to get that second goal, and that's exactly what Matheus Cunha does.
Yeah, and it's a lovely goal. It really is. Kilman with the long ball forwards. Cunha is very intelligent, running off the shoulder of the last man. He just stays on side. It's close, but he just stays on side. Albeit we haven't got VAR here, so we don't know for certain. But from what we saw, he looked on side. The linesman plays on. He runs through, and it's a lovely finish into the bottom corner. And obviously, after the game had restarted, after what we'll come on to with the trouble here, he had a very similar chance that he almost made it 3-0, and it was a very good save from Griffiths and goal for Albion. So Cunha, I thought, was very good today. Probably one of Wolves' better players. Despite the goal, regardless of the goal, the overall performance from him was assured.
Just his build-up play was great. He was clinical when he needed to be, and like you say, he could have had 2 or 3 on the day, but just playing, I think, with supreme confidence at the moment. He was probably a little bit disappointed with his performance, I guess, on Monday night at Brighton, but I thought he's come here. And look, these guys, Pedro Neto, Matheus Cunha, they're not just goal scorers on, when we look at it today. These are people who are going to be statues. I mean, people are going to love it, are going to love it. I mean, these are people who are going to go down in folklore, aren't they?
I hope so. I mean,
these are goals that people are going to replay for years and years and years to come. It's been a while.
It's been a while, and it's a history-making win for Wolves, and for these Wolves players who will be remembered for that, and to be the 2 players that score the goals as well. Really, really important. It's you could see what it meant to Gary O'Neill at the end there. He's normally quite cool, calm, collected. He doesn't.
I was going to ask him about the post-match press conference, and he went out quite quickly. But
he doesn't celebrate too often. We've seen a few goals this season, a few late goals, a few big moments where he has celebrated, but not that often. He really gave it to that away fan, to the away fans at the end there. Meant a lot to him. Who
I thought were absolutely magnificent on the day. Behind that goal, they were superb. They enjoyed the day. They were loud. The atmosphere was great. Liquidator at the start. Just fantastic to be there. It was an I was there moment. At the same time, Cunha scores that second, and then all of a sudden, pandemonium. I mean, I've never been a part. I've never seen anything like that since I've been covering football for 20 years. But all around the ground, pockets. It was pretty crazy, pretty scary at times, and very worrying. I mean, there was a point, I think, when the players were off the pitch where you thought, is this going to restart? But really disappointing scenes, and I'm sure this was going to run on for quite a while to come. Yeah, it felt like it was getting a little bit close at one point to not restarting. There was about 35 minutes they were off the field in the end, weren't they? Something around that, and there was pockets all around the ground, wasn't it? So it started on the opposite end to the Wolves fans. We've seen a few videos since then. We had someone we know who was sitting nearby as well, and it sounds like there was a couple of Wolves fans in the home end that celebrated when the Cunha goal went in, which sparked a melee really, and it all kicking off. We'd seen that previously just below us down here. There was
to Wolves fans that got kicked out. Luckily, that was fairly quiet and subdued, and the stewards took them out, and there was no issues. But there was Wolves fans definitely there. There was pockets of people coming onto the pitch, and it looked like there was some Wolves fans, some Albion fans. There was a lot of Albion fans at both ends of the field trying to get on the pitch as well once it had all kicked off. To be honest, I thought the police and the stewards did a good job of containing it, because it could have really gone out of control at one point.
The riot police were coming in.
The riot police were coming in. There was people bleeding, the paramedics in there. It got really upsetting at times. And then you see Cole Bartley going in, and the players' families are all in that area. A lot of the Albion players' families, and he's taking his kids out from there. There were obviously all the players' family up there, and there were subs getting involved. It was chaotic.
Yeah, I know some Wolves fans allegedly were in the sections, but at the same time, I do feel like there was, and we'll find out with what's gone on. I'm sure there was been a few arrests today. Not as many as you would think, by the way. I think there's only been 3 arrests on the day. But this is sad that we're talking about it, because it's a Black Country derby. We've all been waiting for a long time, and yet the first questions the manager been asked are about crowd trouble, and that's not how we wanted the results. Obviously, what we wanted, but at the same time, I thought that the good thing is that they came back on the pitch. The players wanted it, the managers wanted it. I thought the referee was excellent today, to be honest.
I agree.
And the stewards did a really good job in the end of calming this down. And actually, when they came back on the pitch, when they played out the last 10 minutes or so plus injury, very quick injury time. It was
2 minutes, wasn't it?
It was dulled a little bit, and I think everybody realised the ramifications that will be coming sometime soon. And we just finished it, and thank God there wasn't any more trouble.
Yeah, pleased. Wolves were able to see that game out. Very quickly before I carry on, Wolves have just been drawn at home to Brighton in the next round.
Okay.
So that was good timing as it comes up on the TV there.
Not a terrible draw.
Not a terrible draw. Not a great draw, but
at home though.
At home's big.
They're in Europa as well.
Yeah, if it's away,
I don't mind it.
I'm glad it. Had that been a scenario where that game gets called off and Wolves have to come back here, you'd imagine with no fans probably, and have to do 12 minutes or even replay the whole game, whatever it is.
And not next week, it'd be the week after
exactly. That's a disaster for everyone. And a lot of the fans here from both sides who don't cause trouble. A lot of the fans here that are here to watch the football and here to cheer their team on and have a bit of friendly banter, obviously, but be there to support either side. It was a shame, but I'm glad that Wolves were in the end, both teams in the end, able to get back on the pitch, and Wolves were able to see out what was a very, very good and historic victory.
Gary Neal said they weren't at their best today by any means. He didn't expect them to be at their best, but to prepare to disrupt and to be disrupted, and I thought that actually in the second half they were pretty professional. Yeah,
professional is the right word, because they 1-0 up. There's always a danger of Albion get back into it, and they did have a couple of flash points. Thomas Asante had a shot from edge of the box that he skied that could have maybe been a bigger moment for Albion. But aside from that, Wolves managed the game quite well. That would be another key phrase, I think, because I talked about the game before the game. You've got to play your game and not the occasion. I think Wolves a little bit in the first half were guilty of playing the occasion at times. In that second half, definitely not. It was never going to be the most exciting performance.
No.
But it was industrious, it was professional, and they were solid at the back, and that was what I didn't see in the first half. So it was definitely an improvement.
And look, Pedro Neto came off, didn't come back on the pitch. I think that was just precautionary, because you're cooling down as well, especially with his situation. I thought it was a very smart move by Gary O'Neill with Chirera coming on, and thankfully they saw the game out and actually could have had a third. Look, they've got 2 games now in the best part of a week. They've got Manchester United on Thursday. We've got deadline day to come. We don't expect too much business, of course, and then Chelsea on the Sunday. So, an important couple of games now. They've got to look to the league, and Gary Neal have been focused on the league. That's for certain. They're doing very, very well. Do you expect this team to go again on Thursday, or would you say maybe a Ryan Aït-Nouri might be someone who might come in for Matt Doherty? But I know Pablo Sarabia missed out today as well. Yeah,
you'd hope that Sarabia won't be too far off. When we spoke to Gary on Thursday, he hadn't trained, but he was hopefully would make it. Obviously, he didn't today, but you would hope that he with a calf strain from Monday at Brighton, he won't be too bad. if we're assuming he's not in the team to start Sarabia, I think the only change would be Aït-Nouri coming in. He didn't do a lot today, but that wasn't really his fault. It was more that he came on at a time in the game when Wolves were defending, and then obviously everything kicked off, and he had little opportunity, I think, to impact the game. But having Aït-Nouri back is a massive plus for Wolves. He's been one of the standout players this season for me, and in this hybrid role that he will be playing, which he didn't play today because he came on and Doc was still on the pitch. He played as a winger today, but when he does come on and play this hybrid role as a left wing back / winger position, it will be a massive plus for Wolves. I think he starts at United, and by the way, I think if Wolves are anywhere near their best, they've got a really good chance of winning this on Thursday.
I agree. Look, overall thoughts on the day. I mean, it's kind of a strange feeling at this moment in time. I mean, look, buzzing, but at the same time, still there's a little bit that disappointment, I guess, tinged with what went on.
It was sort of subdued, wasn't it? The players looked ready for that game to be over when they came back out to play. Another 15 minutes was it? Around about 12 minutes or so. It was almost friendly the way that the game was played.
60-70% pace.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the supporters still gave it as much as they could, but it almost felt like it was a little bit on the back burner at that point because so much had happened. I think no one thought Wolves were going to go and concede a goal at that point, and Wolves were going to lose that game or lose from a winning position. It was a fairly comfortable end to the game, but slightly subdued because of what had happened. But Wolves fans have got the bragging rights, and that's all that matters.
They certainly do. Wolves are through to the fifth round of the FA Cup, where they'll face Brighton at Molineux today. West Brom 0, Black Country Derby, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. For all the post-match reaction, make sure you log on to Express and Star because I can't do it, because we've got to be respectful.
Don't do it.
I can't do it. You can't do it here. Come!